welcome to our session on building intelligent apps and agents using Microsoft Foundry. I'm Nicholas, and I'm doing it with Betsy. Do you want to say hi?
Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to our session. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys about building intelligent apps and agents and take you into Microsoft Foundry.
Yeah, so before we dive in, just a little bit about ourselves, so who we are. So I'm Nicholas Chang. I work for Kainos as a senior platform engineer. So my job has an operation to help, like with AI, to help developers make their life easier.
And I am a senior product manager at Microsoft, and I do get a little bit nerdy and try new experiences in Foundry. So happy to share what I have learned.
Okay. Let's talk about Microsoft Foundry. It's been like, as you know, it's been renamed from AI Foundry at Ignite, and the main purpose of it is that it, it's AI unified platform building and deploying and manage AI agents. So at the top, you can manage agents using your various native tools, for example, VS Code, GitHub, VS Code Studio, and it provides different services like modules, Microsoft Foundry Agent Services, Microsoft AI IQ tools, machine learning, and aside from that, you have MC, uh, different MCP tools that you can plug in, get different data, and it connect to, like, for example, ServiceNow, Bing, and aside from that, you have Control Pane, which handles all the management, security, and compliance, which can hook up into Defender Cloud as well.
As we have been learning about agents, very quickly we realized that since agents are made to do a specific job and they are called experts at something scoped, we also realized that it's important to have multiple agents because to finish any task, you would need a certain set or series of things to be done in a certain fashion. So what we have here is either with multi-agents, you can orchestrate the agents where you're giving some ownership for the agents, the orchestrator to decide what LLMs should be invoked at what stage, what tools we should be using, and then they end to end complete that flow and provide you outcomes. Well, contrast to that is the workflow orchestration, which in a bit Nicholas is going to cover. In here, we are in control and we decide how the agents should work in tandem, when they should be taking control from each other, who's the predecessor, who's the successor, and then where we can chime in for inputs. And then outside of that, there are other blocks that you could incorporate where you can add some statements, you can define some variables, so you define exactly how things should be orchestrated. Nicholas, if you want to take us through the demo and
Yeah.
maybe show us how typically that could work.
So if you go to the Microsoft Foundry portal by using a new toggle, and you should be under build, the section here. You go to workflows here. There are different types of workflows that you can create. You can create blank workflows where you can start with how you want to create it from scratch. You can add like different actions as well if you want. Or what we can do is you can create sequential workflows, which is in flows, human in loop, where it's another workflow where you just have to put in logic where you need someone to make action before it works, or a group chat. So an example of workflow that I created earlier, it's a sequential workflow. It's a secret center workflows. So if I click on this secret center workflows, so the idea of this workflow is that I've created, it has a wish list agent, which that's been assigned some instruction, like and include like a file search tool, which has a list of like users that's within like a secret center for the secret center, and I added a web search tools as well. So once that would just invoke another agent. So the thing is, and I'll just point of an important thing. If you go to the action setting, you can add variable to it. So I added a variable which takes response, local dot which is response, and then that you can even save that as a variable, or you can move to the next action. So after that's been ran, it goes to the agent, assignment agent. That one have another variable here, which is response. And that would just be assigning an instructions. For example, you are assignment agent for Secret Center. You are then assign each participant a Secret Center response. And then I've attached that to, it's not showing up here, for example. It should be with the tool. So you can attach it to a tool here. And it would then pass into the reminder agent, which have another instruction here. And that reminder agent have used the OpenAI tool, which is using which is integrated with open logic apps to send it. And I think the backend is using function apps. So I managed to get that working here. So that's been working here. And then after that, there's some logic on how you want to send it. So if it's not blank, you just send a message here. If else, exit it. So how it will look like, it's if it goes to preview, if I run this in preview, let me just get a prompt. Yeah, so I'll put in a prompt, give me a Secret Santa for team, look up everyone wish list, and create random assignments, set notification emails to everyone. So these are lists of like participants that for the Secret Santa, and then it randomly send it to another agent, assignment agent, which would load the data from it. And then that would then pass on to the assignment agent. And then once the assignment agent had the data, it would pass it to the reminder agent, which would have the tool to send the emails, which then send the email later. So once that's done, you can also, with the workflows, you can see when you click on here .bomb, you can see different time when you like a version of the history of your workflows. If you want to roll back, you can click on the V2 if you want. If you don't, you can go back here, V3. You can also horizontal, see workflow horizontal or normal workflows. And I just want to point out traces. So if the traces are important, so if there's anything that you want to diagnose or troubleshoot, you can click on traces tab and click on coloration ID, and then you can click on some of the action. So if you click agent, it will tell you the metadata for each agent, and if you go through the action, it can tell you different steps the output takes of the function call. So if I show you another one, it should give you this one. This is another example, and you can show that there's an error here one in our prompt, and you can see the input and output is saying in progress, and then there's an error message. So you track this and you track each of the metadata. And so that's how you can actually troubleshoot the actual prompt itself and in your agent, in your workflows. So Evaluation is another way that you can evaluate your workflows and your agents that you can meet. So this is very important. It needs to be done like beforehand to evaluate the data. So I've created evaluation on the workflows earlier. So I have so in the evaluation, I evaluated against all of the like uh, I've created all of the accuracy, the token prompt, initialization, and in the run you can see the data of the evaluation. So you can see actual the metrics here. So I wouldn't dive a lot into the evaluation, but if you want more details of it, you can just click on your go back on your workflows. For example, this one, you click on evaluation and then click on this one, and it should show you, and you can use it to compare each of the logs as well you run. Yeah, so you can evaluate and compare against each of the results. So, yeah, so like output utilization is 0 and 0, so output, you can compare against it. So I'm going to hand this over to Bruvi, where she's going to show you different ways how you can create workflows and talk about different monitoring as well.
Okay, 1 sec. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Nicholas. So as Nicholas mentioned, we can create workflows right from this portal experience. And if I were to take you down the path of the workflow that I have here, what we have here is again an extension of what Nicholas showed. But I just want to tell you guys what type of workflow this is. That in the very beginning, when Nicholas was showing how do you create a workflow, you would go to this drop down and pick something from here, either sequential, either human in the loop, or either group chat. What I'm going to show you here is a group chat. A group chat, typically, if you click that, it's going to give you a template. Okay, this is the flow, this is how you hand it over. And to operationalize it, I have created something that I would like to show. So switching back to our workflow, primarily what this workflow is trying to do is, first, it tries to set a variable, because remember our Uber goal. Our Uber goal is that we want to conduct a secret Santa event, and we are supplying the list of participants in a doc.txt file. And along with the participant list, we also have some wish list that these folks have. So if you look at this particular doc, I have the name of the folks and also what are the top 3 wish list item based on their interest. So for Nina Turner, for example, the one I have highlighted here, she's interested in an espresso machine, a shoe rack, and a bath towel set. Pretty useful items, right? So what we want to do here first is we set a variable. The reason we are setting this variable up front is because we want to hand off information from one agent to another. And here this action is saying that, hey, set a variable, a local variable called as latest message. And every time this message is going to capture the last text message from the system and then keep pushing it forward. Once you have set this variable, I will take you guys to the agent experience. And in every agent, the way we have laid it out is we select the model, as Nicholas also captured it earlier. We provide the instructions. So in this one, I'm telling, hey, you are an agent. You have to provide top 3 items that you have to show the top 3 items that you got from the notepad I just showed you guys. And then based on that attached top 3 items, you have to go to either Amazon or Best Buy and provide the top 3 relevant items for that person. Once it has done that, you could see that how it would know who are the people. I'm providing it a tool. So if you go to this add button, you will see a lot of information or a lot of ways you can add information. But for the purpose of supplying it that Excel file, I've already created that index from the .txt file. Once that is done, it's able to reason over that. And I will say done and move on to the assignment agent. This assignment agent is just going to look through that list again and say, okay, who can I map this particular person with? I've given it instructions to just look and randomly pick one person, not make things, not like make up a name, but only look at the Excel, the TXT file and come up with an assignment. So now by the end of these two agents execution, we should have picked up the top three items from the URLs of either Amazon or Best Buy. We would have assigned a Secret Santa agent. And then if you would see in the end, I'm saying your last message should be in a certain format. So you could provide your format as well. Once it's done that, we want to ask a question that, hey, do you want to do it? Do you want to continue this process? Do you have more participants you want to find their Secret Santa and their wish list item? So that's the question I'm asking. And when I'll run this flow, you will see that the process stops here and waits for your input. So my input is a string. Again, it's a user response. And then you need to provide, okay, where do I go from here? So since I've provided a question, the next thing it does is it asks whether the question that we asked, what's the response for that? Now, if you could see, I was saving the response in user.response. This is the variable that I created. Based on the value of this variable, we are going to decide what do we want to do. So if it's a yes, then we go back to this particular wish list agent and we run this process again from the beginning. And if it's a no, then we want to just end this workflow. And if it's something else, what do? We'll just put a message saying that, hey, you can only do either yes or no. Whatever you are doing is not a valid choice. And it then ultimately ends the workflow. I hope you all are following so far. So let's give it a go and hit that preview. So in here, let me pick Nina and see if we are able to find what should be her recommended items as well as her Secret Santa. So let me give some instructions here. Okay, give me top 3 gift recommendations with URL and assign Secret Santa for Nina Turner. So it's thinking. As you can see, when it's thinking, it also goes agent by agent and you'll see those green tick marks coming. If it fails at a certain point, you will see a red cross where it would stop and say can't move further. And as Nick covered, you can go to traces and figure out what exactly went wrong. So here, as you can see, it's able to first find out what are Nina's interest, espresso, shoe rack, and bath towel, as we had seen earlier. And then it's able to pick randomly one person from our list, which is Fiona Davis. And as we know, Fiona was somewhere in this list. Where are you, Fiona? Oh, right there. So we have Fiona, which is great. So it is picking from the list. And now it's asking that, hey, I got what you asked me to do. Fiona Davis is the Secret Santa. These are the things that you can buy. It's within budget because in my instructions, I had given a budget as well that keep everything within $80. And now it's asking me, do you want to continue or do you want to end? So let me just say, no, I'm fine. I think that should be enough for me. And then it just terminates it. If you want to run it again, you can give some other name and supply that information. Last thing that I want to, a couple of more things, actually not last thing, but one more thing that I want to cover here is that when you see some other workflow, to make it more understanding and more easy to grasp, you can even add notes. Notes are nothing but just a little bit of information that you can move around and add. For example, for this wish list agent, I can enter the message that, hey, this agent is to do and ... and you can fill it to say that this agent performs certain actions, right? So that anybody, if tomorrow Nick wants to come and revisit this agent, or you have somebody new joining your team, they should be able to understand upfront rather than, just trying to go to the agent configuration and trying to understand it.
Yeah, the notes is like notes, like for you to like have a look at where you left off.
Yeah. And the last thing that I want to show you is the monitor. So when you go to monitor, let's say no, we don't want to save. The monitor page is where it shows us first some operational metrics. So it shows us, okay, this is the total tokens that you have used so far. This is your estimated cost. If we go down, it also covers some operational metrics like how many runs were there, how many failed, how many got completed, and everything here is actually something that can redirect you to the actual stats. So if I want to see the fail occurrences, it will take me there and then I can deep dive and learn more from that. It also shows me the tool calls and agent runs. Today is the highest for obvious reasons because I was trying things out. And then it can also show you evaluation metrics. But for you to set up evaluation metrics, you have to come to these settings, and then you have to enable and provide an application insight through source name. You could add more evaluators that not just the tool accuracy. I also want to evaluate the tool selection. So you could select as many as you find applicable for your workflow. And then from that time onwards, once you refresh, you should be able to see the evaluations here as well. So that kind of summarizes my demo. I will hand it off back to Nicholas. Over to
Yeah.
you.
So hopefully, we would just want to like show you both demos and how you can use workflows in like a complex, add more logic towards it. You can also create workflows using and in code, for example, BS code in Python, save the workflows as well. So it's very easy to tell. So before we conclude the episode, we just want to say a shout out to the organizers for Festive Tech Calendar and for selecting us. And don't forget to make a donation for charity because it's very good. So hopefully you learn how easy that you can create workflows and be useful for your agents. And if you create workflows, always create your agent beforehand. So it's quite important because it will reference your workflows. Anything else to add, Rui?
No, I just want to wish everybody a great festive season.
Yeah.
Hope you learned something and enjoy the winter break.
Yeah, so Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.